I've often said there's nothing more important you can learn to do to catch more and bigger fish than actually be good at catch and release and handling and why and having the proper tools. But I talk about it a lot for open water, really stressing having the proper tools and doing the right thing, minimizing time out of the water. But it doesn't get talked about as much as it should probably for ice fishing. And I personally have been guilty of not having the proper tools prepared when I go out the first time on the ice. So one thing about being out on the ice as well, it's not that cold today. It's supposed to be getting real cold. That's part of the reason that I'm talking about this topic right now, some of the dangers of extreme cold. But the thing is, when you're out ice fishing, your hands are often cold. So if you're not prepared with the right tools, in a lot of cases, you're just going to have a hard time getting the hooks out of fish, any fish that are deeply hooked, anything like that, or you may not even have the tools, which is a disaster. Well, not necessarily a disaster, but you may end up keeping a fish that you didn't intend to keep because you can't get the hook out. Obviously pliers. I'm set up here today with we're jigging panfish, so you want to have some smaller pliers to be able to get in real small mouths, but also some bigger ones for northern pike, walleye, that type of thing if they're deeply hooked. And also for northern pike especially, because they tend to want to keep their mouth shut when they come out of the water. And again, your hands may be colder or number than they're normally going to be. A lot of people don't like jaw spreaders, but jaw spreaders are a necessary part, especially out on the ice with northern pike. You can see this particular model has got some protective jaws here as far as poking holes in the fish, but it's really important to be able to get into those deeper areas. And you just simply, it's a click stop situation here. You can pry the mouth open as much as you need to and then just release. But these are extremely important when you're out on the ice, especially for northern pike. And then I've got my Stingray cutting systems. I got different things out here that I need to be prepared. But normally we come out and we've got all the gear. I've got everything you could possibly imagine in this Lakewood tackle box, different rods, reels, plastic, jigs, the Humminbird. I got everything I got, but you don't think about the tools. So make sure you've got those tools. It's extremely important, everything you need on you. And then now with this cold snap coming, selective harvest, you may even choose to take some fish and throw them back a little later. That's fine actually in this situation, especially if you've got a little water on the ice. It's warmer, especially if it's above freezing. You don't have to worry about that fish. But when it gets really cold, if you get below zero stuff, which we're supposed to have below zero for a high, and especially if you add wind to that, now you've got a fish that you want to release and you want that fish to survive. You've got to get that fish back quickly in the water. It's just like the warm water period in the summertime. I stress to minimize the time out of the water. The same thing is true on the ice with the fish that you want to release in extreme cold and wind. They'll literally freeze, their slime will freeze, the eyeball, some of the sensitive parts. That can happen real fast. If you've been out on the ice in extreme cold, you've probably seen it happen. So keep that in mind. When it's really, really cold, you got to minimize that time out of the water, get that fish back quickly, handle the fish for a picture. If it's a big northern pike or something like that, it's just like the summer. A supported horizontal hold is better. Get a couple of quick picks, get them right back through the ice.